Hey name tags and welcome. This is Ash from Heal My Tech, and if anyone is joining, I would like some confirmation that the stream is actually working, and if somebody could kindly let me know in the comment section on YouTube whether you can hear my audio fine. I'm going to try to check on my phone, but it's not always a good test because that only means I can hear myself on my own network, but not necessarily from you. So I'm going to test it, but I would love if someone could let me know. We got one good on who's already been here giving me 2 thumbs up from before. That'd be nice if you can let me know. Let's check quickly. Okay, I can hear from this end, so I'm hoping it will be all hunky-dory for you lot. So I'm going to wait for at least 2 people to confirm whether you can hear me from the YouTube comment section, and that will be super duper, and I'll get cracking on today's live stream session. So I know there's always a delay. I can see there are people coming in already, but please let me know about the audio. And what can I show you in the meantime? Let's pop in some display here, and right, you can see my screen on the channel. We've got one good. We've got Krishna Kapse, PC troubleshooting videos, Karo Baya BLE. Okay, not sure what language you're using, but please let's keep it to English. Okay, I know I look like I should be speaking a lot of languages. I don't. Quite a few. Very troublesome. So JC Blackmere, I can hear you on YouTube. Thank you very much, JC, for letting me know. Abdullah Siddiq says I can hear you. Okay, fantastic. And also, if you guys can hear me, can you let me know about the audio from this microphone, because this is a different microphone. My previous one was giving me some trouble. If the audio is too loud, I will adjust it, hopefully. If not, if it's too low, I'll raise it up. So let me know about the audio level as well, please. One more person about the audio level. And Vapor GameTube is already coming in asking, is FX8320 processor is good for gaming with GTX 1650 Super? Is it enough? I will answer your question soon. Let some people come in. Krishna Kapse, do PC troubleshooting video. Raj King, Wi-Fi adapter in network and sharing center missing. Wi-Fi icon missing in taskbar. No Wi-Fi device. Showing in device manager. Can you help? And JC Blackman said the mic is fine. Thank you, JC, for letting me know. Alright, before I start answering all your questions, I'm going to explain to you how this is going to work, because this is something new I'm testing on the channel. I did a live impromptu version last time. Okay, I'm going to check my notes quickly. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Ash from Heal My Tech. And on this channel, generally, I want to help you improve your relationship with tech. Okay? So far, I've been on the channel for 5 years plus, but not really full time. And you can watch and find a lot of videos on the channel. I think I've just completed 300 videos in my previous one, which was about the used laptop buying guide. So, you know, consider subscribing if you want to go from newbie to techie. All right. Now, how this is going to work. In today's live session, just like the last one I did, which was last week, you're going to get the opportunity to call me live through a program called Cisco WebEx Meeting. Now, from next week, hopefully, I have been testing a system of a Discord server with a couple of my friends who, incidentally, you can see there. Okay?
Well, no, the way it works.
This is actually Julio and Shaka, who are both my current admin on our Facebook group. If you didn't know, we have a Facebook group whereby we do troubleshoot issues to do with desktop and laptops and tech generally. You can find the details in the description below, and you can feel free to join. There will be people helping you generally on there, but you have to be very specific with your problems. You have to give a description very clearly, all your full specs, and include pictures and videos wherever possible. So the difference with today's video is, I thought for a long while, how can I make it so that you have an actual live troubleshoot discussion where you're going to come on and you're going to share your problems live, and I will help you troubleshoot it. But not just live in the text box on YouTube comment, you're going to be connecting with me live. So from next week, we're going to hopefully switch to Discord, right? We're setting it up this week, but today I'm by myself at the moment. These 2 chaps hopefully will be joining me, but today I cannot do it on the Discord server. So we're going to use Cisco WebEx. Now, how do you do this? In the description, you're going to find there's a Cisco WebEx meeting. There is a link, and I'm just going to literally start the link here. Let me just show you that. And I'm going to start the meeting. You can join in, okay? and we've got somebody already here, but I'm not going to start talking just yet. And on Cisco, you will be able to talk to me. I will be able to see you and or your problem if you are able to film it with good video streaming and good lighting, and hopefully you also have some sort of decent audio, and then I will be able to see what you're doing. Now, there is a couple of caveats. Please have your description of your problem clearly sorted before you come to ask the question live. Have the video ready to be filmed, and also please tell me what have you done so far to troubleshoot the issue. All right. Now, people, when you give them a chance to ask live questions, they probably will ask anything and everything from any topic, which is going to be a problem for me to help. So I want to condense and niche down, and I'll make sure that we only hopefully going to be talking about mainly the troubleshooting a desktop computer problem mainly. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to address anything else, but it's going to help me to narrow down, because we will do this hopefully live weekly, every week, same time, 3 p.m. UK time or 2 p.m. UTC. So feel free to join. So you will have a chance to bring forth your troubleshoot problems. And next week, hopefully, I will have these two co-hosts. Now, I may make some exceptions for those who want to ask general tech stuff that we've covered on the channel. But do understand that it's quite difficult to always be able to give you a solution live. There's so much going on. It's not very easy, especially when you're by yourself. Now, I'm also going to say that there are two more announcements, and we'll get cracking. First of all, that there is, I made an announcement earlier on the YouTube community chat. And I have, long time ago, I did start a Patreon account, but I never did anything about it. You will find details in the description. From today, I am launching it. I don't know if it's actually live, but I've done the kind of basic stuff. I will start to include specific material on Patreon. If you consider, supporting me there, obviously I'll give you some perks, some tiers. It's my first time doing Patreon. I know there are some issues with Patreon platform, and there are alternatives. That's a discussion for another time. And if you guys feel you can help out, that'd be great. But if you want to support me, feel free, go to the link below and you'll find my Patreon account, and I will start giving you perks and specific content, especially to do with behind the scenes, to do with specific questions you may have, my personal stories, what I do outside of tech stuff, give you, an insight into the into my world, basically. Also, quite a lot of different perks. I'm thinking about giving Amazon vouchers, possibly sending out some goods I receive from companies every now and then. Even, if you're in London, meet up for coffee, private contact with myself, and, merchandising, t-shirts, etc. So, and who knows, maybe we might build some computers every now and then and share it amongst the Patreon. And I think I might actually start doing this probably once a month. So consider supporting. Okay. Right, and there is one last thing. You may not like this, but after having spent 5 years plus on YouTube, over 300 videos, helping so many people learn a skill or helping them with their tech stuff, I am going to say, those who want to ask specific, more complicated questions today, if you want to really get my attention, and if you want a first crack at getting some answers, then consider some super chats. Feel free to super chat, and I will give preference to those who are going to be on super chat. And I think we've got Zulu67 on. Zulu, are you on today? If Zulu is on, he's going to be one of our admin / co-hosts for next week. Zulu, I don't know if you are joining through Cisco or you're staying on YouTube. Feel free. You can do either, which is fine. So let me take some questions on YouTube first. Zulu67, hello. I unknown I2351. I have an MSI B450 Gaming Pro Carbon Max. I have the red light for CPU and won't post up. But I have an issue with my... Okay. All right. Okay. JC Blackmer, but I have an issue with my PC. I have two RJ45 ports on my PC, but my PC only uses one of them at a time. How do I fix this? All right. Nitesh Depre, hello. Sami Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Manuel George, hi, help me. My PC is not starting. And Danush B. Pravin, L-I-E-R. I don't know what L-I-E-R means. Danush. Ellen or Map says hi. Hi. All right. Now, we have people on Cisco. So I'm gonna switch to some sort of display, and let's put you guys here. Where should I put you? No, I'm gonna put you here, and then I'm gonna put myself. How do I do myself? There we go. All right, let's take the first call. We have Devesh Shingle. Devesh Shingle, are you on? I may not know everyone's entry, who is first, who is not. So Devesh Shingle, you say yup, but do you want to say anything, or you just here, just spending some time? Okay, if you guys are trying to chat to me on this on Cisco, I may not be able to chat back because I can't moderate everything both on YouTube and on Cisco. It's best you actually phone me. Okay. Okay, Manuel George, take it easy. If you want to be, to be given priority, consider super chats. If not, take it easy. We'll get to you hopefully. Okay, Divesh, you're not answering. So, by the way, I forgot to tell you, if you want to use Cisco and YouTube at the same time, it might be difficult if you only have one device. You need to come off one, and then you can call from the other. But if you have two devices, you could simultaneously do both. You won't be able to see me on Cisco, unfortunately, but you will hear me, because on Cisco, I only have one webcam at the moment. I've been trying to connect both to YouTube and to Cisco, but it's not really working, or I'm having difficulties with the drivers, so that's not going to happen today. So you will be able to hear me, and I can see you if you want to show me your troubleshoot stuff. So let's take next person. Nitesh, do you have a question? I would prefer on Cisco, I'm not going to take chats, unfortunately. I cannot moderate. If you want to chat, you chat on YouTube, but on Cisco I will take only live or audio call or video call. Okay. Samir Ahmed, do you have a question? Nope. All right. So let me answer some of the questions on YouTube at the moment. Okay. First question that we had up. Let's see. Vapor GameTube, is FX8320 processor, is it good for gaming with GTX 1650 Super? Is it enough? Okay, the FX8320 is the predecessor to the FX8350, actually slightly, on the same general architecture from the Bulldozer period. But the 8350, which I still have today, which was my first main computer, I have done some tests on the 8350 recently in the last few months, more modern titles, and I can tell you on a 1080p 60 FPS, most of the games I was able to crank them up to 60 FPS. Okay, 1080p monitor though. This is not going to be a section for 1440p. Now, the 1650 is probably much better than the card I was using, because I was using a, what was it, an R9 380, I think. So the 1650 should be better. Okay. I think I'm getting some problems with my stream right now. You might not be seeing me properly. If there's any problem with today, I do apologize, be coming from a bandwidth perspective. So we'll end the session. But yeah, the 8350 is still a good processor if you have it. I would not advise you go out and buy it just to put in a game. Should you upgrade from the 8320 to something more modern, the Ryzen range is really good, and I think if you want to upgrade, you should go for a Ryzen machine. But if the 8320 is still getting you your gaming that you're gaming at the moment, and especially with a 1650, which will slightly bottleneck the 8320, but there's always a bottleneck in every configuration. There's always a level of it. If it's working for you, leave it for a short while. Wait till after September, October, some new cards may come out, and you'll have some offers, so you can buy some better parts. But yeah, I would not be in a hurry. However, if you want to go into 1440p gaming, 4K gaming, if you want the latest AAA titles at much higher frame rates, then the 8320 2020 is going to be slightly bottlenecking your whole system. It's also not very economical in terms of power consumption. So yeah, not great. But just like Arnold Schwarzenegger said in what was the last Terminator movie, old but not obsolete, and I agree with this. In fact, thank you for reminding me. I will be doing a full review on the 8350 in 2020 for some of the latest AAA titles. We see how it fares, and you might be surprised, still holds up quite decent for 1080p gaming. Okay, all right. I think today we have nobody that want to join on Cisco WebEx Live. A bit shy, but that's fine. Last time I had this one person, and I did manage to give them some advice, and they contributed afterwards. By the way, if you want to also donate through PayPal, there's a link, paypal.me/himatech. All right. Okay, let's take the next question on YouTube. We had Jamal who just joined in. Jamal, do you want to say something on Cisco? Don't be shy. Okay, next question then on Raj King. Wi-Fi adapter in network and sharing center missing. Wi-Fi icon missing in taskbar. No Wi-Fi device showing in device manager. Can you help? All right. So you may have either a complete driver issue, and I'm guessing you're probably using Windows, or you have a hardware problem with the Wi-Fi card. Now, how can you test this? To eliminate the driver issue, if I was in your shoes, I would, because you're not seeing it in the task manager, neither in the device manager, I would actually come off Windows and boot into a Linux distribution, where hopefully you will be able to test your wireless connection. Now, in most cases, okay? And if your wireless shows up on a Linux distribution on the live USB, then that means there's no problem with the actual hardware for your Wi-Fi card, but there will be a problem with Windows driver. And Windows is known to sometimes mess up some drivers every now and then. So it will be a question of either a wipe and reload, or finding or reinstalling the driver for that device. However, if your wireless device does not get picked up in a Linux distro, and if I were you, I would use more than one Linux distro, because they vary sometimes in terms of compatibility and drivers from the Linux world. Then if it doesn't show up, it means you have a hardware issue with either your Wi-Fi card or the antenna that connects your Wi-Fi card to your motherboard. In which case you're gonna have to go and get yourself a Wi-Fi card replacement, or the antenna, so you're gonna have to open the laptop to find out. So that's the two best scenarios I can give you. Okay, hope that answers the question. Feel free to contribute. Okay, IUnknown12. By the way, those who are on WebEx, Jamal and Samia, if you want to say something, feel free. You're allowed to say something. I've unmuted both of you. From your end, if you want to talk, you can. I think some people are trying to talk, but I can't hear anyone. Okay, is there a problem with my audio? Switch audio. No, I am using computer for audio, which is fine. But I can't hear anyone from your end. Guys, if you're trying to talk through your end, Jamal, then you probably have a problem with your microphone, because I can't hear you. Okay? Okay. Right. So, let's see. IUnknown I2351. I have MSI B450 Gaming Pro Carbon Max. I have the red light for CPU and mode post up. Alright, so you got a red light, you haven't got post. Okay, so Unknown 2351, what troubleshoot have you done? You need to explain. It would be good to know also your full specs. And also, you haven't explained, did you just build this computer, or was it giving pause before and working, just stopped working suddenly? I don't have enough information, you have to be more specific, please. Okay. JC Blackmer, but I have issue with my PC. I have 2 RJ45 ports on my PC, but my PC only uses one of them at a time. How do I fix this? All right. JC Blackmer, what is the make and model of your motherboard? Could you please let me know? Right, let's see. Leonor Ganzola Medeiros, thank you for letting them know that I will answer if you guys enter on Cisco. Yes, thank you. But I can't hear anyone on Cisco. Guys, if someone could just go on Cisco and let me know, because I know I've used the system before. I've used it 30 times in the last few months. It does work, but I can't hear anyone from Cisco at the moment. Whether there's an issue with the server or there's a problem with my connection, I'm not sure. It'd be good if somebody could join, okay? All right. Avash Mundeya, hello brother, you're doing very good work. Thank you very much. Thanks for the support, Avash. Feel free to pop in. By the way, if you just want to pop in live and just say hello as well, I'm okay with that. Come on, Cisco. It'll be really cool to hear some of you people, okay? At least everyone would be great. Okay, Devesh Single. Hey, my custom build is crashing and restarting on its own even when it's idle. Following are the specs: Intel 7th generation, Intel Core i7 desktop processor, i7 7700K. And you got a bit more description, but it's just cut off. Davesh. So, okay, you haven't given me your full specs, but again, same question to you. Custom build crashing and restarting. Is this the first time you're posting it? As in first time you're turning it on? Or has it been working and then now it's just stopped working and crashing? So let me know exactly, please, okay? Koteswara Rao, one of my game crashed because graphic drivers, since then my PC getting black screens. Koteswara, I reinstalled graphics drivers. One of my game crashed because graphic drivers, since my PC getting black screen. Okay. Koteswara, you're stating what the problem, but you have a question though. So if this is the issue, if you know it's the graphics drivers, is it for one specific game? Sometimes what happens is there is one game that is not really optimized for the computer that you're using, okay? In which case you should test the other games, and if they're working fine, it may be a problem with actually that game which has an issue. So you should try to find out whether there's any patch from the game's developers first and foremost. Now, if a game is a AAA title game, requires a lot of horsepower, maybe your computer is not good enough, and like you said, maybe it's a driver issue. So you should try to roll back that driver, completely uninstall it and reinstall. Now, again, you haven't given your full specs, so I'm not sure whether, but I think you're saying no, that's not you. I don't know your full specs. What's your specs, Koteswara? Please let us know. We have also Kishore and Saifullah who just joined in. Now, Kishore and Saifullah, can you speak? Because I can't hear anyone from my end, unless there is a problem. Do you know what? I'm going to try. No, I can't join because it's going to make a mess. Jamal, I think you're speaking, but I can't hear you. Is there a problem with my audio then? Computer for audio. I'm going to try again and connect. If you guys are speaking, I can't hear anyone. Zulu, if you're watching, could you go on Cisco and give me a test, please? Because I can't hear anyone. Maybe it's on my end. What I'm going to do now, listen, I'm just going to switch off. Let me just check audio and video. Speaker microphone settings. Speaker. I see. Okay.
Yo, I can hear you.
Oh my god. There was a problem with my setting. I'm very sorry. I've just fixed the speaker. Now I can hear people. Who's speaking right now? Let's take one.
It was me.
Who's me? You have to say your name because I don't know who's speaking. Larry.
Yeah.
Okay, Larry. Thank God for that. So I'm so sorry, guys. I have done this, you know, so much, and I checked it before we started. It was working fine. For some reason, the audio feed for the speaker got switched off and I could not hear anyone. So whoever was trying to speak to me before, now we can hear you, and I think YouTube can hear you as well. All right, Larry, what can I do you for?
Can you hear me?
Okay, guys, one at a time, please. Okay, if you guys are gonna mess up, obviously. Okay, if you guys are gonna mess up, I will remove you. We are gonna have some charlatans. This is why hopefully from next week I will have some people to moderate. But anyway, Larry, were you speaking earlier?
Yes.
Okay, how can I help you both?
I had two RJ45
Right,
things.
Larry,
And
your audio is not very good. I can't hear you properly.
yeah, it's my mic's sucking up. I just need to get closer. That's all.
Okay. So what's your motherboard?
It's some Chinese brand or whatever. I got it $50, but one of the RJ45 things I got from a USB adapter to Ethernet thing, but it only wants to use the one that's built in the motherboard. I have two Ethernet cables plugged into my thing.
Right. If you don't tell me these specs and make a model of your motherboard, I won't be able to help you, because those kind of motherboards usually sometimes is for server reasons. Sometimes they're cheap motherboards, which means you can only actually use one RJ45 at a time. So I don't really know, especially if it's Chinese make, unknown. We don't know how they manufactured it. Can you let me know the exact make and model? And why are you trying to use two Ethernets at the same time? What's the reason?
Or more bandwidth,
For more
or just
bandwidth.
balance,
Don't
or
think
balancing.
I don't think this is how it works. I don't think if you connect two Ethernet ports, you're going to get more bandwidth, because that's not how it works. Normally with these computers, which are sometimes when the motherboards are going to be for workstations or part of a small network, it's meant to be able to connect to the internet and also connect to other computers, like to a LAN network at the same time, but not necessarily for more bandwidth. I could be wrong on this, but I had one before and I don't think I was able to get more bandwidth. Unless the motherboard specifically is telling you from the manufacturer's manual that if you do that, you will get more bandwidth. Am I correct or am I wrong?
I don't know, but all I know is the brand of the motherboard when I power it on, it says American Megatrends.
That's okay. That's more of a chip rather than the actual board partner. Okay, so no, I don't think you will be able to do more bandwidth this way. Okay, so if you can come back with a make and model exactly, then we'll look into it further for you.
That's the thing. Windows won't tell me the exact make and model of it.
What about on the board
Probably a real
itself?
keyboard.
The board itself should have a part number or serial number or reference. Well, I would just expel one idiot, obviously.
Well, thanks for trying to help. I'll go back to YouTube because, yeah.
Okay, if you
I'll-
just
I'll
send us your
continue
make and
watching.
model, and then we'll take it from there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Okay, Kishore or Saifullah? Kishore. Nope. Saifullah. Okay, they've gone shy. All right. Let's go back to YouTube then. Khalil says, does overheat affects PC turn on speed? Okay, Khalil, I don't understand the question. So you said overheating, does it affect turn on? And then you also said speed. There's actually two different questions here. Are you talking about does it affect the actual turning on of the machine, or does it affect the speed performance? Can you please be more specific? But generally, every computer has a threshold for where it will perform optimized way. If you go beyond that, if it's too hot, it will either become a problem in terms of it will crash, or it can even slow down. And if it's extremely hot, that might actually kill off a few components. Also, it could be a fire hazard, so you have to be really careful. So airing, cooling components for your computer is really important. Occasional cleaning and even reapplying thermal paste is a good idea. Will it affect speed? Probably. Will it affect turning on? There are some computers, depending on the chip, the processor might not want to initialize the whole computer because the heat output is wrongly, for example, if the voltage is not regulated properly, it's been wrongly set. There's a lot of reasons why it may not even turn on, which is correct. Yeah, heat might be a reason, but rather than heat, it would be more a question of voltage. Or if it does turn on, you'll see that it's going to start switching off and restarting in a loop because it's not getting required cooling or the voltage. And sometimes it's just a question of going to the BIOS and changing that setting. But generally, if you have an issue like that, I would be careful if I were you. Heat is a big problem for most machines, okay? Now, I'm gonna, if there's one person trying to come in, I don't know if it's the same idiot that's been trying to mess up. Hopefully not. Let's see. I'm gonna admit that guy. Parham, you can speak. Okay, you've sent a lot of description on YouTube chat. Charlie Vernum has a question. If anybody can help him out, it's not my specialty, unfortunately. All right. But you know what? I can help you out, Charlie. There we go. Sorted. Okay. Okay, Parham, you have a lot of issues you've described, so I'm going to get to you in a minute. Go back. Okay, Samia Ahmed, you were saying, can I respond to you on Cisco? Sorry, I couldn't hear you earlier, but if you're trying to send a chat on Cisco, I won't be able to answer you. I'm sorry. Please come on and speak to me. Okay, Benny Chain saying, I'm looking at buying a Lenovo i7. Parham. Okay, Parham, are you trying to ask a question because you got some sort of audio going on there?
I'm a fag nigga, fuck me.
Right, that's it. Expel you as well. Okay. Benny Chen, I'm looking at buying a Lenovo i7 10th generation with 16 DDR4. Is this computer good for editing and music production? YouTube. Lenovo i7 10th generation, 16 GB DDR4. I mean, i7 10th generation is really good. 16 gig is, generally standard for decent editing 1080p. I would say, depending on what application you're using. But it might not be enough if you're trying to do something in 4K. Also, some applications, they would require a decent graphics card, like DaVinci Resolve. And again, it depends on what you're going to be editing in what format and what resolution. If you're going to use 4K to edit in 4K, you might struggle with 16 GB, but the processor is good. But buying a Lenovo, I don't know if you're buying a laptop or a desktop. Usually Lenovo's, I'm guessing you're buying a laptop. I'm not a big fan of laptops when it comes to editing. I think you get more value for money with a desktop. Build your own always comes to mind. But hey, it's actually not as bad though if you want to try some entry-level editing on that. Okay, Nashid Hassan saying, Assalamu alaikum, brother, wa alaikum salam. I have an old 3rd generation Intel Mobo. The problem is CMOS battery CR2032 is discharging too fast. Max lasting time was 1 week. What can be the problem? Any solution for that? Okay, that's strange, but is it possible that the CMOS battery you're using is of a cheap make? Because if you are one of those cheap generic brand, they may not be lasting too long. That could be one issue. Also, there's two variants of the CMOS battery. There's a thinner one and there's a thicker one, and I cannot remember the actual code for each, but you may want to get the thicker one because that will retain more longer battery. If that's the case. Having said that, I have come across two motherboards that I still own and they're with me. Every time I swap a new CMOS battery, for some reason the CMOS setting doesn't remain and I have to keep resetting all the time. And I've concluded that there's an actual problem with possibly the CMOS socket or even part of the motherboard. One of it was an Asus Deluxe something from the DDR2 generation. The other one is from a Dell motherboard. In both cases, I haven't been able to fully diagnose the component level CMOS battery socket, but for me it's not a problem because they are just backup computers that I use to test things here and there. That might be an issue, but again, try to get a decent quality brand CMOS battery, get a thicker version and test with that. Also, if you have a multimeter, you could test the actual battery for the voltage, see if there's anything left in there or not, because if you still have decent voltage, then there probably is an issue with your motherboard or the socket for the CMOS battery of the motherboard. Okay. Sometimes maybe it might require a BIOS update. Check with your manufacturer whether there's a BIOS update for that specifically, if that's an issue. In rare cases. Okay, Zulu, why won't they let you log in? I don't understand. The meeting is not locked. You should be able to log in. Okay, try again. Mr. Smiley, at least it was throat singing instead of, yeah, correct, instead of indecent stuff. Nitesh type, love LMAO, yeah, I know. Thankfully, you know, been online long enough and I've had worse problems on my other channel. Okay, yeah.
Hello?
Shaka, finally. Shaka.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Shaka, aka Zulu67 from YouTube. Good friend of mine now, well, online friend, and also one of the admins from Facebook. Shaka, if you want to show your pretty face, that's really up to you because you're going to be hosting hopefully from next week. And people on Facebook should know who you are.
Yeah, I have to plug in this camera. Give me 1 second.
You always have to do something, bro, for an IT person, yeah? Okay. So this is going to be Shaka, one of the admins, hopefully. And if Julio is bothered to wake up, wherever he is in the parts of the world, he should join us as well, but he's not. We'll wait for Shaka. In the meantime, no mic chat. I'm going to mute Shaka until he's ready. Do you want to say something? No mic chat. Or are you going to be playing some nonsense as well? So this is going to be Shaka, one of the admins, hopefully. And if Julio... Okay, I think he's just playing me back. Okay. All right. We'll give Shaka the mic again. Let's see. What in the name... Okay, there's a lot of chats on YouTube. I can't even keep up.
Inside his mouth, he started choking. That dick in me, bro, that shit.
Right, we're gonna have to start. Hopefully next week we won't have this problem. We're gonna be using Discord and we're gonna be monitoring with some moderators. So yeah, have fun, guys. No problem. If you feel like you want to pop in, have some fun, you're more than welcome. Shaka. Shaka is still trying to plug in his camera. All right. YouTube. Let's see what's happening on YouTube. There's a lot of questions. Spirit Lemonade Gaming, you need help. What help do you need? Spirit Lemonade is saying, can I live stream with the specs Ryzen 1600 RX 570, 8GB, 16GB free? I think you should be fine. Ryzen 1600 you should be able to stream no problem. But hopefully you don't want to be streaming 4K with this. And you should optimize your stream software, reduce maybe some of the specs, but it should be fine. But it's all about your speed connection as well, okay? Your internet connection. Okay, Rashid 4112005 says, hello, I have a question. When I connect to 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi speed is fine, but when I connect to 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi on my laptop, the speed is lower than 2.4 gigahertz. All right. So listen, Rashid, 2.4 gigahertz has actually a longer and broader range and a lot more stable connection than 5 gigahertz. But 5 gigahertz has much faster connection, but for a shorter distance. Okay. Now, when it comes to wireless connection, it is really difficult to pinpoint because you cannot control wireless signals that's going to bounce off walls. It's going to be blocked by certain material, etc. Okay. We'll see Shaka in a minute. So
Yeah, hello?
one second, Shak. So it's really difficult to diagnose wireless connection. There can also be an issue with your Wi-Fi network settings. You should probably go to your main hub and go into the control panel and change settings there if you know what you're doing. But it's a bit dodgy. I'd be careful if I were you. So yeah, there's not much I can tell you from this end. So unfortunately, 5 gigahertz doesn't always give you the most stable connection. And if you're using a laptop or a smartphone, again, because I have this problem here, even when I was sitting close to an extended Wi-Fi connection, it would not detect because it would connect to the previous one. So it's really difficult to do this. Okay, right. Shaka,
Yo.
you're allowed to smile on camera. Okay, so this is Shaka. Like I've mentioned, he's one of the admins on our Facebook group, and you'll find the details below. Shaka also has been a long-standing viewer, subscriber, and he does contribute to the channel quite a lot. So hopefully in the near future we might be working together. Shaka is a bit of a tech nerd. Are you a tech nerd, Shaka?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But he likes his tech stuff, prefers desktop to laptops, a bit like me. But hey, we'll see. Shaka is also quite helpful. So if you guys want some specific help, you can go to our Facebook group where I've put up a post today that my two admins are willing to help more advanced stuff, one-to-one connecting outside. There might be a small assessment fee and a repair fee if that's a discussion between you and them, which I'm okay with because he does help quite a lot of people sort their tech stuff. So you'll be in good hands, okay? So feel free to do this. Shaka, what's up?
All right, I just get up though.
You just got up.
Yeah, I was trying to get onto the Babette's program, but it was giving me trouble with my email. It wouldn't let me log in. I don't know why.
Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco.
Yeah, I don't know.
I already had an account signed up already, but it wouldn't let me in. They keep sending me. It was telling me that I had to put in some code, but it wouldn't send me the code to my email. I was looking at the email over and over. It wouldn't let me.
I can't really tell you. It could be something from from a port in your country or a VPN thing, or I don't know. But at least you're here. So thankfully, next week we should be able to do this through Discord. Correct?
Yeah.
Any updates on that?
Julio needs to take care of that. I don't know how to put on. He says that he has to put on some rules with
Right.
Discord server.
Okay.
That's about it.
Fair enough.
For the most part, it's fine.
Like you've seen today, we had a bit of a fun people trying to lighten the mood, but it wasn't too bad. At least it wasn't too awful.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So is there anything you want to add for today? Anything you've noticed? Do you want to answer any questions? You can take the next question if you want. Let me read you something off. Can you see the YouTube comments?
Yeah, I can see the YouTube comments.
Okay, you can stay on. By the way, if you guys want to ask Shaka something today, feel free to do so. You can ask him. But I don't know about laptops. He doesn't like laptops. But Shaka, that's up to you, really. You can just take a question from YouTube, Shaka.
Ryzen 7 2700X to the 800X.
Okay, Pratyush Nayak is saying, I'm having a BSOD problem with my computer and I used it only for 3 months. Could it be a graphics card problem? I spend a lot on graphics card specs, i5, 16GB DDR4, NVIDIA RTX 2060, 120GB SSD and 1TB HDD. Okay, blue screen of death, Shaka.
Blue screen of death. Which did that comment past me? Like,
I'll put in the chat on Cisco if you can see that. Should I take this one while you look for another question?
oh, I got it. Okay.
Okay, while you read that, when you're ready, let me know.
Which i5 does he have?
Which i5?
Yeah, he didn't say which i5 it was.
Pratyush, you didn't say which i5, but it wouldn't matter too much, would it? Because the BSOD doesn't care about what i5 you have in it. It will have give blue screen of death regardless.
He says he has an RTX 2060. That's a pretty decent card.
Yeah.
But the blue screen can mean anything, honestly. It could mean hardware problem or driver issue, something like that.
So, what would you advise him to do as a first troubleshoot? Do you want me to go?
In terms,
Do you want me to
in
do
terms
this one?
of yeah, in terms of troubleshooting that, if he has a spare drive that he could install Windows on without messing with his own installation, he can start there.
Spare drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me input some things about the blue screen of death, okay? Now, I did a video quite a while ago, one of my early videos. It wasn't received very well because the video was actually not very good. It had good content, but it wasn't produced very well, and I did mess up at the beginning, and a lot of people hated it. However, there was a good part to it, and we'll redo it. So one of the first things you have to remember about blue screen of death is many times you will have a code at the bottom of the blue screen. There is an error code. There might be a message. One of the first things you should do is always to Google this directly with Microsoft themselves. There is a lot of patching they do sometimes with specific blue screen of death. Having said that, blue screen of death is notorious. It is a big problem and the causes are so many. No one really knows exactly how they're caused. They come and they go. They used to be.
Yes, I'm gay, and my sister with that whole shit. I'm twerking, dick up in my.
They used to be a lot worse on Windows XP, Windows 7. It's gone a lot less with Windows 10 machines, especially with newer components. I've had it a couple of times with my FX8350 machine. So you can't really know. Now, what Shaka is saying is also a good idea. It could be hardware, it could be software. So I would first check the actual error code with Microsoft. Second, if you can't find from Microsoft, I would check the error code on Google. But like you know, Google could mean there's 100 of different reasons and different patches and different troubleshoot techniques, and it's impossible to know which one works. You might get lucky within the first few ones, but it's difficult. What I would do if I was in your shoes, my first thing would be, after Microsoft and Google, would be again boot in through Linux. If you boot in through Linux and if you test your system there, you can at least eliminate hardware problems. Because if it's working fine on Linux and it's not giving you any blue screen, then that would mean specifically it's a Windows software issue. Could be an update, could be a clash with third-party software, could be even one of Windows nonsense bloatware programs. In that case, you should consider saving all your stuff and do a wipe and reload if it's not a hardware problem. However, if you boot in through Linux and you still have hardware issues, then you're gonna have to start digging into doing some troubleshoot of hardware parts. Ergo, watch our troubleshoot videos and start in a logical way. Do some bench tests, some stress testing of GPU, CPU, RAM, etc. RAM is also a big cause for a lot of blue screen of death. Not always, but it is. It's just a nightmare. To be fair, if you want to avoid blue screen of death, there is no way around it. Stop using Windows. And I'm not saying this because I want to be funny. It's a reality. Blue screen of death is exclusively for Windows, majority. Although you do have some white screen of death from Mac as well. Linux, quite rare as well. But majority is a Windows problem if it's not hardware. All right, Shaka?
Yeah.
And Shaka, we keep getting some nice people want to share some music with us today. So I hope next week we'll be able to filter them, yeah?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they can't bring on the music right now. It's gonna interrupt the stream.
Yeah, it's all right. Okay, let's take the next question. Shaka, take this one. Test email. Which one to choose for keyshot V-Ray rendering? Ryzen 7 2700X or 3800X or Ryzen 9 3900X or i7 10700K or 9700K or i7 9700F i9 9900K. Bloody hell, mate.
I would take the 10700K.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Test email. Shaka is telling you 10700K. All right.
The others are pretty good too, but most of them are not mainstream like the i9s.
Okay.
They can be very, very finicky with certain pieces of hardware.
Mhm.
And I prefer people to stick mainstream if they can. If not, just stick to the basics and reduce the amount of issues possible. That way you won't run into any problems with RAM compatibility, that kind of thing.
Okay.
That's what I would suggest for that one.
All right, cool. Hopefully, test email. You heard Shaka. All right. Pratish Nayak says, well, if it's driver issue, I'm screwed, right? Pratish, are you talking about the Wi-Fi stuff? I don't remember. Was it Wi-Fi thing? Can you let me know, please? Next question. By the way, don't forget, we are welcoming tips and super chats and donation. Link below. And we'll give you priority, hopefully. Nerf Gamer, Motorsport Manager, this video. Pratish Nayak says that it's his first rig and he's getting blue screen of death and you're scared to try anything. Listen, bruv, if it's your first rig and you've built it basically, and if you're scared to start being your own technician and troubleshooting, to be very blunt with you, you should not be building a PC and using it, because everyone who builds a PC, they need to understand that they are going to be their own technician whether they like it or not, because you don't want to be building a PC and then running off to paying for labor and costs from a shop every time you have a problem. If you don't learn through your mistakes, you will also never become a better technician for your own computer. Nobody's asking you to go and fix other people's computers, but you should be able to do your own. And which is one of the things I've talked about in one of my videos. A lot of people say building a computer is easy, and I mentioned 4 aspects to it. It is true, it is a lot easier than it used to be. It's literally Lego. You just put pieces together. You can't really mess it up. But that's only one aspect of the build. That's called the assembly part. There is a huge troubleshooting which comes after you build it, and even before, in terms of picking the right parts. There's a huge amount of consideration you have to give to get the best optimized system. It's not easy. It's also not difficult, but you have to be willing to do a bit of groundwork, and you have to be willing to do a bit of headache and spend wasting a whole weekend, even a whole week, and finding solutions online and tinkering with it. That's what building your own computer means. So get out of your fear, hopefully. If you're not confident with electronics, yes, get yourself a professional help. But generally, if you follow a decent tutorial, you take your precautions, if you have good parts, and if you're not dealing directly with AC voltage from the mains, you should be fine. Just take your precautions, and we're always here to help you. If you want some live help, you can contact myself or Shaka through Facebook, and they will help you to do that. Shaka, am I right?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right.
I'm taking this next question here. This is Kiran Goodpin. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but It says here my PC freezes completely and causes a buzzing sound. It works properly on a GT 730, but freezes on a 1060 Ti. So I replaced it from Service Center, but same issue. As far as I know, there is no such thing as a GTX 1060 Ti. It's just strictly 1060, GTX 1060. But if you're hearing a buzzing sound, the best thing to do would be to get your ear close to the computer and figure out where the buzzing is coming from. If your computer has onboard video, but if you know for a fact that it has integrated graphics, take the video card out of the equation altogether and listen to see if the problem still continues. All right. In the case of the card not having onboard video, then if you know for a fact that it does in fact work with GT 730, start there and see if the buzzing continues. It may have been coming from the 1060 the whole time once it was installed. Yeah, buzzing is not like a normal behavior of the PC. So you're gonna have to rectify that and find out what's going on with that.
Oh, he's saying he's checked that at the bottom. Kiran, I've, like you may know, on my channel, I had a problem with my own computer with freezing and not necessarily buzzing, but restarting. But however, I've had experience with buzzing, and it usually used to come from my power supply. Quite a different few computers actually. So if I was you, I would also try to test with a different power supply. Since you've said you've swapped the GPU, and you have the same problem, I would try the power supply swap, okay, with a non-working one, obviously, and make sure it's powerful enough as well.
It says no buzzing on GT 730. That's because the GT 730 isn't going to require a lot of wattage to run like a GTX 1060. You have to actually plug in the PCI Express time. I think it's a 6-pin for the GTX 1060. So with a GT 730, it will get all the power required from the motherboard itself. Around 75 watts or so is what's required for these cards. Right. So they'll get all their power off of that. However, if you install the 1060, it will require more power, and that's why maybe the power supply is at fault here.
Could be, but until you test, you won't know. So yeah, do those tests hopefully and get back to us. We got somebody on Cisco. Samir, you got the platform?
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Welcome.
Yes.
But I think
thank you.
I think you've got us playing in the background. You have to come off YouTube because we're hearing ourselves.
Okay.
Or you could just lower the volume.
Yeah, you could lower the volume on YouTube or come off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have paused the YouTube live stream.
Okay. Cool.
So my problem is, recently I replaced the old thermal paste of my PC, and after replacing, the PC wasn't booting correctly. Then I saw some YouTube tutorials, but they didn't help. So I just unplugged and replugged, like rebuilding the full computer myself.
Okay.
And doing that, it also didn't boot. And then I had the idea that let's unplug the hard drive. Then when I pressed the power button, the BIOS came in, and then when after turning the PC off and then connecting the hard drive, then starting the PC, my Windows booted right away. So I want to know what was the problem exactly.
Okay. So what's I can still hear me in the background.
Now can you hear you?
Let's see. Yes, I can hear me again.
I
think you've got myself playing on your screen or on somewhere. It's distracting.
No.
Shaka, is it from you? Let me try again. No, it's from you, Samir.
I don't know what's the problem.
Unless you're not using a headphone, you're just using your normal speaker, and I can hear me in the background.
Now can you hear you?
I think it's fine now. All right.
Okay.
So listen, what could have happened is it's a simple issue of possibly there was a buildup of static electricity which remained in either your connection from your motherboard to your drive or even in your drive. Okay.
Okay.
It is very possible because one of the things about PC troubleshooting, general tech troubleshooting, sometimes things just work in mysterious ways, and when that happens, I stop questioning it. I'm happy. If you've done the unplugging, replugging, and all this stuff, that's what it could mean. It could also have meant that you might have been very careful, but you might have left a plug somewhere where it shouldn't be, and when you did rebuild and you swap stuff, you kind of done the correct order this time. It's happened to me a few times when I've plugged something wrong, and sometimes I wanted to make a video tutorial on a problem. By the time I was redoing it just to film it, the problem got sorted. So that's possible. So I would not lose.
Okay.
I would not lose hair over it if I were you. Now, if it happens again, what I would do in your shoes, first do what's called a hard reset. You unplug everything that's not necessary for a post, and then you discharge your static electricity, by pressing and holding the power button for at least 30 seconds, and then you replug your stuff. It would mean you're just having a buildup of static electricity. It could mean that some of the wiring is not correct. You're getting higher voltage. It could mean the capacitor on your motherboard or your power supply is starting to die and it's not regulating the voltage correctly. It could mean a lot of things. But if it doesn't give you problems, don't worry about it.
Okay. Thank you so much, brother.
You're
No
welcome.
problem.
Feel free to to help out. Yeah, we accept tips or doner kebabs. All right, Shaka, next one.
Yep. Yeah, Kiran is still here. He says he used a 6-pin for 8-pin for GTX 1060. All right. The extra 2 pins will not be required to turn on the card. That's why you would need those. Yeah, the 6-pin connector it usually split from the actual connector itself on the power supply.
Okay. Well, we're still talking about the GPU though, but Kiran, you should go and test your power supply hopefully, and then come back to us. Okay. You're welcome, Kiran. Everyone, please consider helping out, super chats, donating. We really want to take these further to help other people. The platform has helped so many people, probably you included. Please consider doing so. I don't think we're gonna be very long, Shaka. I've been streaming now over an hour, and we'll give it we'll end it soon. So just wanted to tell you everyone that hopefully next week we'll stream at the same time, hopefully through a Cisco server, and we'll have another co-host and hopefully some moderators. Shaka, any last words before we log off?
Nothing much.
Nothing much. Okay.
No.
So, join our Facebook group. Links is going to be in the description below. If you're just joining today, remember this is Ash from Heal My Tech. Consider subscribing. I also have started a Patreon account. Check out the description below. I haven't put much content on there, but we will get to that. There's also a donation link for PayPal if you consider doing so. And we will make this a regular session, hopefully, as long as I get help from Shaka, from Julio, from whoever may join our team in the future to do moderation and help with the hosting. So next week, if it's what server is it called? Discord. Please
Yeah, Discord.
come prepared. Make sure you've written your description down properly, your full specs. Have a decent camera. Your phone will do with good lighting if you want to show us live what the problem is. Like if it's not booting up, maybe some specific lights. Maybe we can have a look at your configuration, see if you've plugged something wrong somewhere. But make sure you are ready and make sure you give us full description. Okay? Sami Ahmed, yes, if you've joined on Facebook, we will hopefully let you in, no problem. Okay, as long as you respect the group rules. All right. So, without further ado, guys, Shaka, I will see you hopefully soon. Maybe we'll talk after this. Everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in today. My was Ash from Hilmaitek, helping you go from newbie to techie and improve your relationship with tech. So I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to check out these videos out here to help you develop a better relationship with tech. And I'm starting to blabber, so I'm gonna be out. Peace out.